Hi, Clover. Nice to meet you. Thank you so much for coming by. I was just out and about seeing another client. Yeah. So, you would like to buy a home. Congratulations. Hopefully it wasn't too far to come here. Okay. Yeah, that's a really nice neighborhood. Do you actually own a house there, or are you renting currently? Okay, first time home buyer. Great. We can see if we can get you in on the grant. The first time home buyers grant here in Canada it's a little tricky to fall under that bracket, but you never know. Once I get some more information from you both, you may be able to get a little bit of help on that. The whole point is that it's supposed to help lower your mortgage a little bit, to help with those monthly payments. Yes, it's supposed to make it so you can have a bigger down payment, so your monthly mortgage payments are small. Yes. Okay, so are you going to be wanting to stay in that area, do you think, or you'd like to be closer to the city? Okay. So you do know that being closer to the city will mean that the housing costs are going to be a little bit more expensive. Okay. Yes, we will discuss budgeting and things like that soon, so you can see if that's in your price point for the size of home that you are wanting. So as far as your comfort levels go for distance from the city, how far are you looking at? Okay. Yeah. 2 miles. Yeah, so fairly close. Okay. And is that for like a work thing, or just you enjoy being close to the bustling city? Mm-hmm. Great. Okay, so I am going to start with getting your details. This is just a little bit more of a casual first step, and then we will get into the nitty-gritty and we'll have some paperwork for you to sign. The first thing that I would like you to sign is just a little waiver, basically being that all your information that you're giving me is completely confidential, and that I am acting for your best interests, that I am working for you specifically and not for the banks and not for the home buyers. So I am your best advocate, looking out for your best interests. Okay. So if you don't mind, I'm just gonna get that paperwork. Feel free to read it over. How's your day been? Good. Okay. Great. So if you could just sign there for me, please. Okay, thank you so much. Okay, now that you've signed that, if you could each give me your first and last name. Is that the same last name or a different one? Okay. Okay, wonderful. And date of birth, please, for both of you. Okay, great. Okay, so what is your occupations? What are your occupations? Oh, how lovely. How long have you been doing that for? Nice. I heard the schooling for that can be quite tricky. Yeah, lots of studying. Okay. And you? Okay, awesome. And how long have you been doing that for? Okay. Yeah, generally, when getting mortgage, we do like for you to be at a job for about 2 years on minimum. So we need to see your bank statements, your T4s. And this is just to make sure that you have a steady income coming in. If one partner makes a substantial amount to make up for the other partner, then obviously it's not an issue, but that's rarely the case, right? So usually in these times we have two very hardworking individuals who each take the weight of a mortgage, so to speak. What was your employment before that? Okay. And how long were you doing that for? Okay. Okay. Well, you'll probably want to speak to your employers from before to see your bank statements from those 3 years. So long as the work seems like it is secure, then it's not going away. Is it a part of a union at all? Oh, no, okay. Okay. Well, it becomes even more complicated if you're self-employed. So be grateful that you're not. So that is great. I don't see that being an issue, but we will definitely look into it. Worst case, we'll just have to wait another year. That's kind of how it goes. But the process of buying a house can take a while here in Canada anyways. It's definitely not something that you want to rush. So I think waiting one more year, if it is even necessary, definitely won't ruin anything for you. There is also some options sometimes when you don't quite meet the financial requirements, and it's that you get a little bit more of a high risk mortgage rate. So they would consider you high risk, so you don't get the same premiums that someone else would get for their mortgage rate. So higher interest rates. And what you could do is you could take a sort of like a 1 year mortgage rate, and then after the year we could reassess and perhaps get you a better interest rate. Yes, okay. But that all, it might not even be a problem. We really need to look into it. So at the very end, I'll let you know all the paperwork that I'm going to need from you guys. We'll go from there. Okay. I'm just going to put that paper down there. So, what are you looking for exactly? Okay. 3-bedroom. Okay, and how many bathrooms? At least 2, but okay. And are you wanting them to be full baths? Okay, so 2+ bathroom. And so you would like ideally an ensuite. Okay, full bathroom for the remaining 2 bedrooms. Okay. And a powder room, but it's not needed. Okay. Yeah, powder room's really nice to have downstairs and kind of the main living area for guests. I agree. Okay. Are you wanting anything like a family room or a garage? Okay, garage. And how many cars would you like that for? Like a 2-car garage or a small little garage? 2-car garage, okay. 2-car garage. Okay. Would you like a backyard? I know everyone wants backyards. Okay. Any particular size you looking for? Are you looking for just a small backyard? Are you looking for half an acre? More? If you would like to get land. Although, I must warn you, very rare close to the city. That's what I thought. Okay. Okay, wonderful. So as far as the year built, are you looking for an older house that you can get for cheaper that you would like to renovate and make your own? Are you looking for a newer house that's expensive but it's done? You don't need to do anything to it. Once you buy it, it's perfect. Yeah, I find that, with newer places, there's a bit of a sweet spot, right? If you get really old, you want to make sure that the roof has been recently redone. You want to make sure that all the pipes are doing well, that there's no mold, no bugs, that say like the hardwood isn't too squeaky or anything like that. And it can be fine. You can get a great deal doing it that way, but there are always risks involved. Yeah, relatively new. So what are you thinking, like mid-2000s? Okay. Yeah, some of the houses built around like the 80s and 90s had a very interesting style, didn't they? Maybe not the most desirable. And speaking of which, are you wanting to avoid any particular feature? Like, say, like you don't want to deal with the fireplace or hardwood, or do you have a preference for hardwood? No laminates. It seems like you don't really want to do much fixing up. Okay, you would prefer hardwood. Okay. Hardwood is beautiful as long as it's done well, that it's good quality, and that it's not a fake crap. It can be so beautiful. Okay. So is there a type of heating that you would like or would like to avoid? Certain types can be more expensive for sure. Okay. Okay. Great. So now down to the big question. What do you think your budget is? We will have to assess exactly what your budget actually is, because sometimes you just really need a professional to look at it. But what are you thinking? What would you like to spend? Okay, between 650,000 to 1.1 million. Yeah, close to the city. So I'd say, looking at the property that's around right now, I haven't seen a lot of 3-bedrooms in town for under 900,000, and that is including some of the junkier ones. So I definitely think we're going to be looking at the higher end of your price. However, you know, I can let you know what I find. You can let me know if you'd like it. We can also look at some things that are about a 20-minute drive out of town, which might lower that price down a little bit. Okay. Perfect. So what I'm going to do for you is we're just going to do a little tester. Okay, I'm going to find a couple of little houses very quickly on the website to show you, just to give you a little peek. I'm sure you've done your own research and that you've seen some things on there, some things that you like, hopefully. But I have this website and we realtors use it, and it's very easy. You put in your preferences and it remembers it, and it gives you alerts when new properties go up. Immediately when they go up. It's fantastic. So I will be adding you to my personal portfolio, and I will be adding your preferences to that site, so you will get immediate notifications when something that matches your description pops up. Fun, hey? So that way, if you see anything, there is a little button that says that you would like to view the house, and that way it will alert me, and we can put together maybe 6, 7, 8 houses, and we can go and visit them all in one day, like a little outing. Great, that sounds perfect. So before I do that, I also just want to discuss a little bit about the difference between, say, getting a mortgage from your bank and getting a mortgage from a mortgage broker. So I personally would recommend that you go and see a mortgage broker. Sometimes with banks, they are trying to act in the best interest of their bank, and you're not always going to get the best deals. So generally, a mortgage broker is going to get you the best interest rate there is, and they are still acting in your best interest, not for a bank. So I do have a few that I would recommend that I have worked with many times before. They are very sweet and kind, and they have always done a fantastic job at keeping the home buyer very happy. So I will give you the list. I think there's about 2 or 3 of them on there that I would really recommend. So for your mortgage, I do recommend that you put down the biggest down payment you can do. For a house that is over $500,000, you are looking at paying 5% of the amount that's below $500,000, and then for every dollar above $500,000, you need to do 10% as a down payment. If you do under 20% of a house that is under $1 million, you need to pay for home insurance, essentially mortgage insurance. And mortgage insurance, it's not like a lot all at once, but it does tack on a fairly hefty sum onto your main mortgage. So you're just going to be paying more in interest at the end of the day. So depending on how risky you are, you're looking at between 0.6% to 4.5% for your mortgage insurance. That can really add up. That's why, again, I do recommend putting the biggest down payments you can, because you will also get the best insurance rates when you have a bigger down payment, when they think that you are less risky, when you have a good steady income. When you put down a big down payment, they generally consider you low risk. They trust you, and so you can have a lower payment and lower interest rate, which means that you're paying less. As well as, you can't even get mortgage insurance for a house over $1 million. You need to pay the full 20%, and you still are suggested to pay more than that. So do keep that in mind. Do you have a bunch of savings right now? Okay. I mean, hey, don't feel bad. That's amazing. That's not going to get you the 20%, but that is still nothing to scoff at. That is well done. Yeah. Okay. How much are you guys saving every month? Okay. And is that the most that you're able to do right now, or is that including different pleasantries and such and such? Okay. Well, to get 20% of $1 million home, you are looking at saving for another 15 months. So I would either say that, you need to wait until that point. You either need to make some changes to make sure that you can save more so that you can get it quicker, or to get a house under $1 million. I know, getting a mortgage can be quite stressful. We are very careful here in Canada. It is because of the crash. Yes, it had a lot of problems that came up, so they really want to make sure that people can afford their home, and unfortunately it puts people at a bit of a weird spot, right? Housing prices can be really expensive, so you need to be making a lot of money to be able to afford them, and yet these are still starter homes for regular little families. It can be really difficult. So if you are in the big cities in Canada, right, quite expensive, but then when you move into the smaller cities and maybe more like central Canada provinces, then it gets quite cheap. Or if you're looking at New Brunswick or Nova Scotia, quite cheap. Yes, but it has always been that way in the cities, right? I mean, Montreal is a little bit cheaper, but then you have Toronto and Vancouver. It can get ridiculous. And you need to stay here for work. Yeah, not everyone has the luxury of being able to move away for work too, right? And again, places like Nova Scotia, they don't necessarily have a bunch of work coming in, so you can't necessarily just move out there and expect to get income. Well, there is no rush, and it sounds like you guys will be able to do it. You just need to keep saving. Okay, well, let us go over some houses. Okay, and do not feel discouraged. We can still look over them, and even if we're looking at a year, I mean, a year is nothing, right? For such a large purchase, a year is totally fine, and then you will have your dream home. Another thing I might suggest is, again, just 20-30 minutes out of town, you can buy a little plot of land, about half an acre, and then you could build one of those little tiny homes that are quite popular these days. I have seen a lot of people doing it now. You can get them around 2,000 square feet. Well, we do what we have to do to get our home, don't we? But we will find you the perfect home, I promise. So have a seat, relax, and let me go over a couple of houses. Could be that we can find something within your price point. And again, the only problem there seemed to be finding a house that was over $1 million. I do not think that a house over $1 million, just quickly looking over your finances, is possible for another year. However, if we can find something for around $800,000, you could do that. Again, we have to double check with the mortgage broker. They will look over your bank statements, pay stubs, T4s, employment history, all of that, your credit score, and your assets. Yeah, any loans you have. So your car, do you have your cars paid off? Okay, how much is left on that? Okay, that's not too bad. Great. So that I would say is pretty much a positive thing for that, because you almost have that completely paid off. So that does look good. And I mean, from what you've said, it seems like your credit score is pretty good. So again, that's really great for you. We can also look into getting you a place with a basement suite. So if you can rent out a space, they will allow you to have a larger mortgage because it is considered less risky, because you are having like $1,200, $1,500 coming in to help out with that. Awesome. Okay, sit back and relax, and we will get started on the next section.